I have to warn you, only watch the rest of this video if you're over 18, because the content gets a little racy. Now picture this, you're cruising down the shoreline and a fish rockets to the surface. I mean, it's darting around like the meth head back at the boat dock. And somehow you get your arrow into it. And at first glance, you're thinking it's just another buffalo, because it's got that deep body. But the head and the mouth are a little smaller, and the dorsal fin doesn't look quite right. And of course your buddy, who knows everything about fish, calls it a quillback, and you don't think twice about it. So it goes into the bucket. Well, any red-blooded male is not going to make that mistake again, because that carpsucker needs to be flipped over, and you need to check out that mouth a little closer. That's right, this time you don't need to hide your internet search history, or head to the local gentleman's club if you want to see a little nipple, because that's one of the distinguishing features on 2 out of the 3 species of carpsuckers that you might encounter. No, I'm not saying that these fish have breasts, but if you look closely at the bottom lip on a river or a high-fin carpsucker, then you'll see what I'm talking about. If that lip nipple is present, then you need to look at the length of the first ray in the dorsal fin. If it's short, about half the length or less of the overall dorsal fin, that's a river carpsucker, which is a fairly common species throughout the Midwest and the Mississippi River drainage. But if that first ray is long, and I mean as long as the overall dorsal fin or maybe even longer, that's a high fin carpsucker. And these are much more rare. And although they have a fairly large distribution through the northern part of the United States, they are not encountered too often. So now that you're all wound up and know what you're looking for, you go digging through that barrel and you pull that fish back out. Now that first ray looks pretty long. I mean, almost as long as the overall dorsal fin. So you flip it over and no nipple. Just a heavily notched lower lip. Well, it looks like you won't be getting a free peep show this time around. But I guarantee from now on, you'll be checking those fish out just a little bit more closely. Just don't tell your wife. Now, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more, check out my video on red horse identification here, and visit my website at twibowfishing.com for even more related content.